You're gapping, not quite to the low from a couple weeks ago, but almost there. 270, 268. This is in play today. With the expansion of volatility, once again, we talk about the focusing. It's very important to be focused on the market ETFs and the volatility ETFs, because they are the tail that wags the dog. So I did put on the three large cap names that reported today. So I think it's important just to see how people react in terms of putting money into those names and to see if it actually can overwhelm a little bit what we see with the gyrations in the market. And let's assume the gyrations in the market are going to be similar to what we had a couple of weeks ago. On these 2 days here, there are big ranges, right? Like, $8 intraday ranges. Yeah, so things got tighter the last couple of days, but we were still bopping around. I expect that to expand now. The interesting thing is, if you kind of expand it to the downside, let's say we go $3 below the pre-market low and it takes us into the 68 area, and $3 above the high brings us back to 75. That's a pretty good range to work with, right? There's probably going to be some good trades in there. So that's kind of my starting point. I mean, at a minimum, we would expect a $4 intraday range. Better would be this. How does it get there? If people buy right on the open, the first thing is we pop into here, and then they'd kind of be like, okay, what happens? Are we holding here? Are we holding? Oh, second leg, something like that. Pop right on the open, quick failure. Back down below, let's say 271.80. Then people would start to think about a test of the overnight lows down here somewhere. So that's one possibility. The other is where they just pull the rug right on the open. We just flush through 270 into somewhere a little bit below 270. Then we have a bounce back up to here. And then things look stable and we're not rolling over. Maybe we go a little bit higher. And then in the afternoon, we start to kind of grind down. And then the panic, kind of what we saw on day 2 after the initial sell-off a couple weeks ago. Regardless, there's going to be a bunch of really good trades in the 50 cent to dollar range on the SPYs. DXX. Obviously, if the SPYs flush through right up through 270 on the open and we start to bounce, looking at VXX on the short side is something you'd want to do. If we get to my 268 area today, I will start selling puts. Start selling probably the 265s, 264s, depending on how juiced they are. When the market gets really ugly, the prices of puts skyrocket, and selling them for the premium has served me well for years, at least going back to 2015. So, if I'm selling the 265s, I'd like to get a few dollars for those, which effectively would be like me being long at 262 in the next week. If we don't bounce, which I'm fine with. Usually what happens is we bounce and then they go to zero, like 80% of the time. So that's that. In terms of a change in the market, getting back to more constructive view, I would say if we started to have closes above 274 again in this area up here, we had a few closes, or at least 2 closes up here, and then a break to the upside, that would get me more constructive. But right now, sellers in control, fear. Don't get caught up in we pop a dollar quickly and, the market's changed. No, it's not. And by the way, it's the same thing on the downside. The market's not changing. The market has changed. I think I've talked about this in the morning meeting before. There's less capital committed by the market making programs. They widen their spreads. And so a dollar move is about as much meaning as a 20-cent move a month ago. It's just, don't read too much into it. Now, if the market goes up $3 straight from here to above 274, yeah, I'd pay attention to that. That to me was, okay, people were waiting for the retest of the lows. They got it. Massive buy programs come in. And then as long as most of those gains held, I'd be more constructive on the market. So that's on that. We're gapping into here. So we have like a kind of pretty tight pre-market range on the VXX. The actual VIX itself is 23.5 right now. It was below 20 yesterday at the end of the day. So let's see what we do in relation to this small consolidation area. The uptrend's still intact. I'd want to see some closes below 35. I feel like it's going to start to work its way back down. It's kind of where this started from. And it can happen quickly, but pay attention to that. If we drop out very quickly to 36, 35.5 here, this would be the spot to buy right there. Qs. So the Qs were pretty strong yesterday. And because it's a much more concentrated ETF, I talk about it less. The reason why it's nowhere near the lows, the recent lows, is because probably Apple and Amazon and Google, even though Netflix is getting killed, and it's you have those 10 names. It's like Microsoft, Google, Amazon. Like you can see, it's nowhere near its low. Microsoft, nowhere near its low. Apple's like, it's getting a little closer now. It was strong yesterday. So, and then Netflix, obviously, that's got to be through its low, right? Oh, yeah, it's right at its low. So this is the weakest of the pack. I guess let's see what Facebook is. And even Facebook is nowhere near, well, it's $3 and change from its low. So you can kind of see why Qs are holding up a little bit better. So we put in the bottom here on the Qs, below 69. Then on day 3, the low was right here. This is important. 171 is important. If you get one of these, and then we get back above 171, look for a bounce. I would actually change the downtrend. I would shift this a little bit. Bad. I'd love to see a bounce into this area, see how this acted. And basically the support from the last 3 days, 73, 73.40. The downtrend is catching up to that. I would actually, if we bounce to there, buy some like 170 puts. Safe way to play the downside. So we have CAT, MCD, and Triple M, which are industrial leaders. I just quickly typed up the technology leaders for you: Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple. So there are different types of leadership, and a bunch of those names are probably in the Dow. And so, people have looked at technology has been the leader for the last year. If you look at the gains in the market, it's been the technology names. So you kind of want to have them typed up on a list to see how they're behaving. And then also on, you can have these names that reported today: Caterpillar, which is gapping below 120. I just want to see, is money going to flow in or out of technology, in or out of these names? Obviously, McDonald's, money's flowing into it right now in really good numbers. And the other thing we can check is, over the last few days, when we looked at in-play names, even though we were having 1+% volatility intraday, those names were doing okay. I think with 3+% volatility potentially today, those names may become a little bit more victim to the movement and the gyrations of the market. So we are coming back down to 120, which erases certainly the 2018 up move, which started here. Now we're coming into fall of 2017. Just to put this in perspective, during the financial crisis, this was like a $20 stock. So, or a $25 stock. It's coming in some really important support areas. So, the highs of 2011, the high of 2012, hit a lower high in 2014, and then it broke out. In 2017. So it's kind of, I mean, this is, I mean, I'd definitely be a buyer down to this, into 112, 113. It seems like a stretch for it to get there today, but maybe if the market's weak over the coming month or so. But certainly for today, I think I put 115, 116. That would be another, is that like an ATR on CAT? $4. ATR is $4. So from 120 to 116, that to me would be a stretch. I would actually nibble long there and probably sell some 115 puts. MCD is gapping above 170. So really the question becomes, are people going to use this as a safe haven today with the market down and just buy it? And maybe there's a little profit taking right in the open and then they just buy it and takes out. Something like that. Or people are going to say, this thing just came back from, what was it, 140 or something? So the March low was 147. 155. This was kind of ugly. So if it does set, if it starts to hold below 170 and it really picks up a little steam to the downside, 168 is the most likely spot. If it really gets sold, 165 to 166. But it's important to look at these, even if you're not trading them, to have them punched up to see, especially if you have like a scanner or where you can look at it and see what the change has been since the open. So you can kind of watch these three names, the technology names, and be like, oh, these names are all up 1% from the open. They're all down 1% from the open. You kind of see if they're being sold as a group, being bought as a group, to get a sense of what's going on in terms of money flows. So if this spikes up quickly to here on the open, into this area here, and fails, you want to be short. And it spikes down to 270. What you'd like to see is actually, if you'd like to see if the 270 bid drops and it goes down 30, 40 cents, whatever, you'd then like to see it get back above 270 and hold. That's how you would kind of play the bounce, especially if it bottoms fairly close to 270. And you can kind of use that as a tight stop. Because if it does stop there, it could easily then pop up into this area right here before rolling over again. So $1.5, $2 moves, some volume coming in right now. So things are actually pretty quiet right now. It's gonna get crazy when the market opens. And then I just wanted to say, for those of you who like to trade the leveraged VXX for more fun, this is going to move. It's supposed to move twice as much, I think, intraday as the VXX. So if we get like a 5% down move in the VXX, and this drops 10%, you're looking at 60 to 54 or something. So it does get tight at times, so it's pretty good. So especially if you're buying power challenged, Obviously on the desk, if guys have 10, 20 million buying power, they might as well just trade VXX. It's more liquid, easier to get in and out of. But if you're trading your own account, and you want to get some more juice, this is the way to do it. It's going to move on a percentage basis twice as much as VXX. So that's that. And the same thing applies to all the other ETFs. I know like IWM and Qs, they all have 2 times, 3 times leverage ETFs. That's how you can do that. The only thing I would say is when you have the heightened volatility already, it's okay to trade single leverage. When volatility starts to compress again, if you want to go to the leverage games a little bit more in the coming days, they should be a little bit easier to handle. So that's it. Your focus really should be on watching the market, focused on kind of absorbing what everything's doing, what the levels are doing. Be patient. Don't get stopped out of the game before 10 o'clock. It's ridiculous. There's going to be so much opportunity on a day like today that you pick your spots. And if you miss a trade, you miss a trade. It's fine. Be focused on the market. Don't get distracted with other nonsense.